Hi, I'm Carrie, and this is The Cauldron by Zeno, written in 1967. It's about the Battle of the Operation Market Garden, which took place in Holland during the Second World War in September of '44. The unsuccessful battle for the British and the Allied forces, which was recounted in the film A Bridge Too Far. Now, Zeno actually took part in the battle, and this is apparently a novelistic look at what happened to him. Now, it takes the point of view of a small unit, a platoon, roughly, and what happened to them in their attempts to survive what became a quasi-disaster for the Allied forces. But what makes the novel kind of interesting is the author, Zeno. Now, that was not his name. His real name was Gerald Lamarque. Although that was his birth name, he actually fought in the army, the British Army, under the name Kenneth Allerton. And the reason for all these name changes is that Lamarque, or Zeno, or Allerton, whoever you want to call him, was a career criminal, both before and after the war. And after the war, his criminal career got even more serious, ending with him going in prison for murder, knifing his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend. He barely escaped being hung because it was regarded as a crime of passion. While in prison, he wrote this novel, later writing several more, won an award actually for this novel, the Arthur Koestler Award, which was given to prisoners who wrote. And so while the backstory to this novel is quite interesting, as a novel, it really isn't that great. And I think the problem with it is that very clearly Zeno wanted to hide his real identity and, of course, his criminal background and how lengthy and how serious it was. And so what he did was to avoid what should have been just a straight up memoir of his experiences in the war, which would have been very valuable and interesting to read. He had to put things under a bit of a cloud, or fog rather, so that people couldn't find out exactly who he was. I'm supposing this, but there's really no reason other than that for him to hide his true identity, other than shame and embarrassment over what his past consisted of. As I said, it's kind of a look at a small group of soldiers fighting to survive at Arnhem, and it's decent. It doesn't really do anything new in that field, but it's a shame that it wasn't a straight up autobiography or memoir of his experiences during the war. Those would have been far more interesting than an attempt to add a novelistic gloss to what happened to him. So it's a bit of a curiosity. It really doesn't add anything too new to the history of Operation Market Garden. But if you are a completist when it comes to the history of World War II, or especially Operation Market Garden, I suppose this would be a good thing to add to your reading list. Or you could add this, my novel, The Skeleton Palms, noir thriller set in California and Nevada. Very action-filled, if you like that sort of thing. Till next time, thanks, bye.